in the night. You keep me up when you say love is strong, come along, fall into my arms. Come on over, let your soul fall into my arms. Finally I can feel you, finally I can see you fall into my arms.
Hello and welcome then, champions, to this very final console broadcast. My name is Hi-Rez Vox, and this is the Paladins Console Wars North American PS4 Grand Final for Week 5 of the competition, the very last week of competition in total. And as you can see, your brackets are on screen. Now, I'm not joined by a co-commentator today. Unfortunately, I Hold Shift is out of town, so it's just me taking this solo. Bit of a throwback to week number 3, but let's get straight down to business. Strictly business, of course. Yesterday, they took the set in this series on the European side of things, or rather the North American. But let's talk NA PS4, as that was Xbox. And you can see in your standings that it's Coastal Mayhem who currently lead at 310 points, but Invigorate sitting at 280. This makes for a very interesting set of grand finals today, and let me tell you why. Now, I do have to warn you that this math was performed by trained professionals. This was also math performed ahead of time. This is not math done on the fly, as we all know how terribly that goes. But, of course, with 100 points granted to the winner of this set and 60 granted to second place, if Coastal Mayhem take it, they take it in their stride. If Invigorate take first place today, they beat out Coastal Mayhem and qualify for DreamHack Valencia by a grand total of just 10 points. This is competition down to the wire, and I can't wait to kick things off. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the map draft and see exactly where we'll be heading today in the realm. And that is on your screens right now, as you can see. Do let me know with that stinger transition if the audio has gone a little bit wonky, folks, but otherwise we are ready for it. And the first map actually banned away from Coastal Mayhem versus Invigorate is going to be Timber Mill, so taking away the higher ground, pretty standard there. On the other side of things, Frozen Guard is also banned out, so Frozen Guard, a map which Coastal Mayhem have performed very, very well on previously, and being first seed in the standings right now, that's been banned out by Invigorate Gaming, so Invigorate want nothing to do with the Frozen Guard map, which Koma has taken them on relatively easily in the past couple of weeks. A wise ban. And so game 1 will actually be kicking off on Serpent Beach here. And this is going to be another interesting one. I don't think this is a map that we've seen Coastal Mayhem and Invigorate Gaming perform on previously. We've seen it a couple of times in Europe. We've definitely seen it in at least the Xbox side of things in Europe, especially where, and also the PS4 with the Acrobatics Pip coming into play. So we know that it's a map that favors split verticality and champions that fare well on that. And with verticality counters being a little bit less strong on console than they are on PC, you haven't got the same precision and flick aiming with Droxes to take a Drogas out of the skies, for example. We recognize that a lot of the control on this map really comes down to who controls the upper ground. So I can't wait to get things started. We've got game 1 queued up behind the scenes. Remember, folks, winner of this set goes to DreamHack Valencia. The loser, well, they just get to stay home and watch the opposition team represent North American PlayStation 4 on the console wars stage. We'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere. Game 1 of this set starting up soon. Game 1 then, champions, between Invigorate Gaming and Coastal Mayhem, starting things off this week. This very last week of the competition on Serpent Beach as stated once again, Hi-Res Vox, your commentator for today. No partner in crime for the time being, but Invigorate Gaming, let's check out to begin with and see what they've brought to the table in terms of picks and legendaries. It's Sorrow on Aegis Fernando, Atomic Boom on Darkstalker and Droxus, the Kid of Action on Totemic Ward Grok, Graham on Flux Generator Ruckus, and Unique Strokes on Accelerant Poppy Bomb Bomb King. Representing the red-hand side, or the right-hand side of your screen, the red team will, of course, be Coastal Mayhem, and they're led by Kyle the Bunny on Focusing Lens Ying, Vengeance on Block Makoa, Objection on Firefight Victor, Grapple on Recurve Charlene, and Monster on Architectonics Barrack. Initial itemization coming out on either side of your screen. You can see heavy cauterized prioritization from both teams, but a lot of wrecker picks up by Coastal Mayhem. They don't want anything to do with this Fernando's shield. I'm going to try and burst it down immediately. Up on the high ground, Grapple now looking towards the objective, is trying to lock up the angles and keep the damage up onto this shield to make sure it goes down. Planted comes through, does actually take out the Totemic Ward as well. A good look so far. And meanwhile on the high ground, Ying dishing out a lot of healing to everybody on the red squad, trying to keep them all alive, but straight to the objective. That Flux Generator going to be paying off massively with all the damage reduction it provides, and nobody can break through from Coastal Mayhem just yet until they start poking everybody down low enough. And as soon as they do, the Kid of Action just drops the healing totem straight down, and alas, Atomic Boom picks up first blood on the high ground, takes out Vengeance, but Objection quickly answers back. Then Graham comes in, manages to pick up the Victor. The Ruckus stays alive on the backside of this fight, jumps into the Totemic Ward, and continues to dish out damage. But all the while, Grapple, completely unmitigated here, is dropping a huge amount of pain towards their enemies, but at last will fall. That is Graham picking up a second kill in a row. Invigorate Gaming sitting at 99% on the objective, looking for the damage now onto the backline, now onto the front line is Graham as well, finding a lot of headshots, but it's Unique Strokes who picks up the double, looking for the triple, but Graham steals it away. Invigorate Gaming capture payload number 1 of this game, and at 2 minutes in, lead 1-0. And here we're going to start to see that verticality element of Serpent Beach play in. And Droxus and Bomb King straight to the high ground, looking for some damage onto somebody, anybody who might be waiting up on Coastal Mayhem coming straight out of spawn. And that was Charlene, who's been forced out, and now in the perfect place to do so. Unique Strokes is starting to drop damage as Bomb King towards the payload path to make sure that everybody is split up and forced away from exactly where they need to run. Atomic Boom will move in with a big reversal, take out Victor in the end, and 2 bombs straight onto Grapple. That's enough damage to shut the Charlene down. Kyle will be prioritized next. Grumpy Bomb is set up to stun Vengeance. He does get under a shield in time. Graham activates Hexify around the objective, looks to burn down the barrack as well. Staying mobile they are, kept alive by that turret. Barrage now comes down as well, but advanced charges keep the Ruckus safe. Graham stays alive, and barrack goes down. That's a rampage for the Ruckus. Now looking for more damage. Unique Strokes in the back of the map is still alive here. Atomic Boom picks up Kyle the Bunny, so Ying is down, no more sustain. King Bomb is ready, but electing to back away is Invigorate Gaming wisely as they have lost their support, but still Unique Strokes steals a kill on the Victor right at the end and then stays out of the line inside of Grapple, staying alive. Graham now regenerating out of combat, sitting nice and healthy again as Sorrow rejoins the fight. Missed Grumpy Bomb opportunity from Unique Strokes there, but still finding damage to the high ground is this Bomb King pick. Down to the low ground goes Monster, looking to try and hold down. A Cursed Dome has been activated by Atomic Booms and Droxus, but finds no purchase so far. Dome Shield is ready for Coastal Mayhem if they elect to use it, but Fernando's already activated Immortal, keeping themselves alive on the front line of this objective. Double kill for Atomic Boom on Androxus as they shut down Vengeance and Kyle, and that will be a 2-0 push conversion for Invigorate Gaming in under 4 minutes. Rapid performance, very good play so far from the team in blue, and they're looking for some itemization pickups here. The Kid of Action, notably, already sitting on that 1200 credit plus mark, is elected to go into a Chronos 2. And taking a look at that loadout here as well, we'll see that on your screen, they're rocking the Healing Rain. So they're going for Gale 4 and Healing Rain, making sure they get as much healing onto their frontliners as possible. This does mean that they're not actually running any cooldown reduction for Ghost Walk, and because Gale procs off Ghost Walk and therefore reduces the cooldown of Totemic Ward or their totem as a byproduct of that, it's very important that the Chronos comes online just to keep this Grok survivable and to make sure those totems have maximum uptime. Coastal Mayhem not able to get that tier 2 offensive itemization online, are a little bit of a deficit here. They've got to be careful as Grok sets up on the high ground once again. Down to the low ground will be Ruckus, and Graham's going to activate the Flux Generator Repulsor Field to stay alive all this time. Monster goes straight to the objective. Dome Shield goes down. Totem activated by the Kid of Action on the objective is going to keep everybody sustained through all that incoming damage. Healing Totem should go down here, but no, gets shut down by Monster. The barrack, alas, chewed through as Sorrow shuts them down, but Objection on the high ground. Watch out for this impact player. is out looking for damage onto Fernando, but that Aegis shield is a little bit too tough for them to try and break through here, and Soro's going to force out the front line. Objection must wait for the respawns to come through and then get out of danger for the time being. Barrage comes in, drops damage onto Unique Strokes round the corner, cancelled early to retain some of the charge, but alas, that will not be retained. Looking for damage now onto Soro is Objection. Hexafire activated on the Objective, but in its face will be the Ancient Rage. Monster and Vengeance shut down 3, looking for more as Soro tries to escape, but pulled into danger. Vengeance gets the double. Double as also Monster picked up 2 of their own, and at 51% for Invigorate Gaming, this is all about Coastal Mayhem on the Objective. 97% and rising with the comeback mechanic in their stride. No opportunity for Invigorate Gaming to get back in, and it is all red on the scoreboard right now. Grumpy Bomb's going to disrupt a little bit, but round the corner goes Vengeance, just buying some time, and Illusory Rift used by Ying here to keep the objectionable Victor pick potentially alive for a little bit longer as they were very low on health. Trying to force their way through the high ground push is going to be the side of Coastal Mayhem now. Got to watch out for the Grumpy Bombs, but stunned around a corner. Vengeance not in a great deal of danger. Does surge forwards, maybe looking for a Dread Janker onto somebody as soon as that all-important Fernando shield goes down, and it does. Pulls in Ruckus, who's able to get out of danger with their emitter and repulsor field, so everybody's safe for the time being. And the Kid of Action's totem placements around the corner you can see here on Grok are so crucial to keeping this double frontline composition of Invigorate Gaming alive. Doing fantastic work so far, and actually sitting at 56,000 healing so far as well. So a great performance from this Totemic Ward Grok, and Healing Rain paying off massively. Almost pulled off the edge of the map is the Kid of Action, but no, does stay on, stay alive. Vengeance goes down to the Lightning Orc, and that will be everybody sitting pretty on Invigorate Gaming as they all regenerate once again inside this healing totem. And to the high ground now goes Unique Strokes, setting up on defense, waiting for the respawns to start to come through from Coastal Mayhem. Is going to elect to take an interesting position here where they can see both of the primary entry points towards this payload push. Recognizes that there's nobody forcing through mid, sets up potentially a trap on the left-hand side of your screen. Grumpy Bomb goes down as Monster reveals himself. Very quick dismantling of the barricade, and Grapple not finding much purchase on Charlene here. Could be in a lot of danger. Poppy Bomb not going to throw them off the map. Support from Androxus. Invigorate Gaming are in a good place to make this defense. Huge Poppy Bomb set up here. If it gets a stun off, could be massive. Barrage comes down from Victor, but Objection finds nobody thanks to no at last Unique Strokes. Great Dread Janker pulling the Bomb King in, but still the front line will stay alive. Hexafire is activated. No barricade, only now available. The Shell Shield goes up too. Blocks so much of that incoming damage, and it's Illusory Rift from Ying as well. Trying to keep Vengeance alive, but no, the cauterized pressure just a little bit too strong here. Too devastating for to deal with, but still, Objection on Victor answers back. They're bringing a lot of damage to this fight, and then unrelenting in their pressure. Grenade goes out, looks for damage onto the Kid of Action, but nothing found just yet. Sticky Bombs from Unique Strokes deal a lot of damage, but still forced back by Victor. They've got to be very careful. Grok activates Tempest to try and stay alive. The Kid of Action being brought very low. Somebody's got to focus them down before they survive. Androxus shoot through by Atomic Boom. Grenade in the perfect place, but Objection does not have life rip. They cannot sustain through this Grok's damage if they try and have an all-out fight. And no, the Kid of Action on an 8 streak does defend successfully for Invigorate Gaming. And that's 3-1 in favor of the blue squad. 38 seconds remaining until the next objective spawns. Total now for Grok, and you can see that now sitting on a Chronos 3, Grok currently has, take a look right here, 30% cooldown reduction on all of their abilities. That is devastating when you consider the cooldown of Totem is currently only sitting at 11 seconds. Reduced by 4 with Gale 4 as well. This is phenomenal healing output coming through from Grok, especially when you're dealing with a Fernando who can throw up a big Aegis shield and block any Cauterized input for a little while. Cauterized 3 now is online for 2 members of Coastal Mayhem, though. They're going to try and make their stand. Also seeing some Resilience pickups as well, which acts as a nice counter to Bomb King's stuns, and this is potentially going to allow Vengeance to soak that on the front line a little bit more. If the King Bomb or the Grumpy Bomb stun comes through, Poppy Bomb is placed, King Bomb is whiffed. That's a lazy old if I've ever seen one. This is North American PS4. Still the stun goes off. Massive kill potential is here. Big reversal from Atomic Boom, finds 1800 damage, returns. Makoa, forced into Ancient Rage, now is looking for the chase down onto the objective. Cleave damage finds 2 to 3 members, but the shield is up. and Vengeance is not withstanding the heat and the pressure. The Kid of Action retreats towards Graham, has to get the totem down in time for Graham to sustain and survive, and they do, even though Grok goes down. But ultimately, with Grok going down, there's no more sustain. Coastal Mayhem capture the objective so far, overtaking Invigorate's progress, sitting at 54% and climbing. No King Bomb available to break this point stack open. Dome Shield, Barrage, and Illusory Rift are still on the table. It's going to take a massive dive from Invigorate Gaming to try and get in. Dredge Anchor whiffed by Vengeance there is not going to pull Fernando away from the objective, but now Dome Shield is activated. Grapple burns down Sorrow. Graham takes so much focus fire from Vengeance as well as all of those turrets, and overtime is ticking, 99% to 100. Coastal Mayhem cap at number 3 of this game. 3-2 is the scoreline to Invigorate, but Coastal Mayhem on the comeback here. And now very aggressive positioning coming through from Vengeance, as well as their Victor counterpart, who's just waiting for the opportunity to drop some damage onto all these shields if they can, trying to apply some cauterize, keeping a careful attention to the high ground as they know that Bomb King could be up there at any given point in time, and sees Bomb King from behind, knocks them down, the knockback from their frag grenade actually as well, so a really good displacement from Coma's Victor. Objection has Barrage available, recognizes that Flux Joiner is up as well as a totem, but not going to drop the damage with their ultimate when it's not even necessary. Even though Unique Strokes shuts them down, they've already managed to take out the all-important Grok, the Kid of Action. But again, it's all blue on the scoreboard right here. It's all blue on the kill feed, as so many members in Invigorate Gaming start to pick up the kills they need. And Vengeance sort of off the objective there, buddy, or sort of off the map. You're going to be falling into the drink any second now. A momentary impasse and a lull in the action as Coastal Mayhem do set up on the offense once again. Invigorate looking to defend here. Are going to hold their ground. High ground once again being held by Unique Strokes. Grapple almost dumpsters the Bomb King there. One more hit out of Planted, then a follow-up shot would have been enough to take them down, but they stay alive, and even though they're staying in combat, Unique Strokes is able to continue dishing out damage, but Barrage is incoming. Looking for the shots on Asoro is Objection on Victor. Shield goes up, Totem's down. No Cauterize being applied, most importantly here, and that's going to be an easy full health for everybody on the side of Invigorate Gaming. Grenade around the corner, puts pressure on the Grok. The Kid of Action looking to try and survive, but no, quickly chewed through by Objection on their Hipfire Legendary. Double kill for Victor, triple kill for Victor. Trying to find the quadra kill, but stunned out for the time being. Has to be very careful. Androx's feeds a reversal up, but still may have the turnaround potential here if they can find 1 or 2 more shots. Atomic Boom, clip by the grenade around the corner. It's going to miss. Just a swing and a miss right there, but it'll allow Objection to push straight up to the forefront of this fight again, continue the pressure onto the Kid of Action, and pick up the slay in combination with Vengeance. Support off the table, Unique Strokes comes to the rescue. They've got a hold here as Sorrow has no sustain, waiting on that Grok to respawn. Coastal Mayhem, if they convert, can equalize the scoreboard and leave Invigorate Gaming back on an even playing field. Certainly not something which the team ahead at the start of this game wants to happen. 5 seconds left to go. Round the corner, Bomb King looks to find Grapple, but will not pick up any of the kills so far as Ying's Illusions keep everybody at full health. And of course, Unique Strokes on Bomb King, currently sitting on Wrecker, just doesn't have the Cauterize to stop that healing from coming through. Sorrow goes down. Graham going to be hit by the Planted. Maybe no, every single shot by Grapple does end up missing there, but still, Atomic Boom goes down. It's a triple kill to Objection once again. Vengeance steals the quadra kill, but overtime, not even necessary. Coastal Mayhem push it through and retain 4 out of 5 of their ultimates on offense. Phenomenal performance from Coma so far. And now the late game itemization is here for both teams. 13 minutes and 25 seconds in to the first game on Serpent Beach. All tied up 3-3. Luxury itemization is starting to come out. Resilience going to be the impact here for Coastal Mayhem, reducing the duration of the stuns, and Monster now having that available to them is going to be very, very resilient on the objective appropriately, because Bomb King can no longer force them out with the King Bomb. They can soak that damage and have a Dome Shield up before Bomb King is able to actually land enough stickies on them to get the kill, and so Monster likely going to be able to survive any incoming pressure. Master Riding from Invigorate Gaming, though, might be enough to turn the tide here, as they're going to try and get to the objective first, and try and get maybe to the high ground first. Sorrow on Fernando is going to race towards, but actually doesn't make good use of this Master Riding, but still round behind. Androxus drops the Accursed Arm, taken out of the skies by Objection. Victor going big here, looking for more on the objective as Barrage is ready. Big grouping of enemies, down come the missiles, answered out by Unique Strokes, who picks up a double kill. Grumpy Bomb to the objective. That stun's not going to do much as Resilience is available for Monster, and quickly back out of it they are, but the area damage is devastating. Killing spree for Unique Strokes. Vengeance can't find the Dredge Anchor as the Atomic Boom is here for the save, and Grapple coming in is hit by 1 bomb. Double kill for Atomic Boom as they find the cleanup. Invigorate Gaming hold the objective for the time being and sustain with Hexafire now available. Ying, the only one with the ultimate left for Coastal Mayhem. Do or die for Coma here in game number 1. They've got to close the gap towards the objective, but Grumpy Bomb zoning is going to be good. Keep your eyes on Graham. They're sitting on that all-important Hexafire. Could be activated here as players start to move in with the illusory rift from Ying. On towards the objective will be Vengeance for the time being with Monster as well. Pulled in is Graham. Hexafire not going to be available as the damage is just coming through too quickly. And now on the objective with Objection starting to drop damage towards Fernando. Make sure that Cauterize is applied and continue to put out the shredding capabilities. There's no chance of anybody coming back in. Atomic Boom down. Objection finds the double kill with one grenade. Picks up a triple kill on the backside of his fight as Bomb King falls as well. And at 99% for Invigorate Gaming, Coastal Mayhem come back into it. Graham has respawned. Hexafire is here. The Kid of Action could work well in tandem. They've got to make their move right now, but pulled straight into danger before they can activate that ultimate. They will take half the health in terms of damage. Out comes the Hexafire, but shut down by Monster. Kyle takes out the Kid of Action. Reversal is only buying time. Grapple will slay Atomic Boom and Barrage to finish. Sorrow goes down. Unique Strokes channels King Bomb, but it's far too late. Coastal Mayhem hold the advantage. They will capture objective number 4 and hold victory in game number 1. And that last game was a lot of objection in there, as you can see. Take a look at Victor's scoreline right now. Currently sitting pretty on 46 eliminations, a part of, well, 46 of those eliminations, 149,000 damage. My goodness, that was a nail biter. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, if you take a look at the stats between both of these teams, so much consistency across the side of Coastal Mayhem. On the other side of things, specific members of Invigorate Gaming getting picked maybe more often than they should be. Atomic Boom putting themselves into very vulnerable positions on Androxas with 16 deaths doesn't lead themselves to help their team that much when they're simply not a part of the major fights. And as well, whilst they came in and had some clutch moments, just saw an overall lack of really good conversions on the Accursed Arm ultimate, not picking up maybe the kills which they might have needed to, and as a result, not able to convert for a win, taking out the important targets such as Ying or Charlene, or even this Victor, who had 2 or 3 shots from Accursed Arm would have been enough to deal the damage to eliminate them from the playing field. Victory coming towards Coastal Mayhem, just grounded so much on the back of this Victor going unmitigated, and despite Unique Strokes and Atomic Boom's best efforts, it does seem like there was no real way for the flankers to close the gap onto the immobile backline and really take them down. Once again, that stat line certainly nothing to sneeze at, and again, towards the end of there, Graham had Hexafire available for the majority of that last objective capture, and wasn't in the position to use it at all. Really good displacement from Vengeance on Makoa for the majority of that last point fight, making sure that Graham was always in danger when they were electing to potentially use it, and then forced into using the Hexafire, which could have turned the tide of battle right towards the end of the fight, when they already had very low health and were subject to Cauterize, not in Grok's healing totem, and very quickly cleaned up. And as a result, as you can see on your screens right now, as we go back towards our map draft here, it is a 4-3 victory in favor of Coastal Mayhem. Next map up, though, will be Bright Marsh. And this is going to be a very different objective fight compared to what we've just seen on Serpent Beach, although Serpent Beach this time around played a lot less around the high ground verticality and much, much more on the low ground around the objective area, making use of the Flux Generator Ruckus and the double front line from both teams. But Bright Marsh were a little bit more enclosed. Expect to see some Grok come out again, maybe some Inara, as we know how valuable her impasse can be in specific areas of this map. And also, we've noticed that there's been an aerial assault Ruckus trend on Bright Marsh specifically, with the verticality that aerial assault grants you, enabling Ruckus players to jump onto the high ground, the little ledges and balconies around this objective area on Bright Marsh. So potentially you might see even a treacherous ground in Nara come out on this map, as the cripple provided by that legendary is invaluable when dealing with this Ruckus. But regardless, folks, we'll have to wait until we get into game to find out exactly how it's going to go down. Stay tuned, and we'll have game number 2 of this best of 5 grand final set for the North American PS4 Console Wars Qualifiers Week 5 coming up next. Invigorate Gaming versus Coastal Mayhem. Game number 2 on your screens right now on Brightmarsh Champions. And of course, with Coastal Mayhem taking the 4-3 victory in game number 1, they're looking good for game number 2 on this slightly different map aesthetic. And as far as what the picks are for this game number 2, let's go ahead and check them out. Invigorate Gaming, as we expected, or maybe suspected, bringing the Inara to the table here, and Sora will be rocking that. You get to choose that legendary. The Kid of Action on Titanic Ward, Grok once again. Unique Strokes on Firefight Victor this time, taking that away from Objection. I like it. Graham still on Flux Generator Ruckus there, so less verticality. Atomic Boom on Recurve Shaolin. On the other side of things, of course, Coastal Mayhem led by Vengeance on Architectonics Barrack. Objection on First Blood Tyra. Kyle the Bunny on Focusing Lens Ying yet again. Grapple on Chain Reaction Bomb King here. And Monster on Battering Ram Ash. Notably as well, Monster going for the Bulldozer pickup here. And it is indeed the treacherous ground Inara picked up, but whilst that might help Sorrow lock down maybe the Ying if they jump directly to the backline, that's not going to do much for the Ashe, as Battering Ram does, of course, make her CC immune, and you're able to get out of that cripple. Jumping towards the enemies, down goes the cripple, but Sora is already taking a lot of damage here and has to be very, very careful withstanding the damage. First Blood, though, does go through to Unique Strokes, but they're quickly burned to a crisp by Tyra's Firebomb. An Objection will now find the flank around to the backside of this fight, looking for Tyra, but Kyle has already picked them up. Firebomb available once again, going to be thrown out here any second, not even electing to use it, but now at last throwing it towards the Ruckus. Has managed to mark Atomic Boom, but the Shaolin gets the double kill and comes out on top. Invigorate Gaming looking good so far in game number 2, and well, they're holding down the objective exactly as they need to. Ash in a lot of trouble here, elects to run away. Invigorate are just going to be able to start pushing this payload out as 2 minutes and 23 remain on the clock, and so far no real defense being mounted by Coastal Mayhem. Victor going to retreat a little bit as they have been marked by Tyra. Got to be careful here, but around the objective, we're going to see Coastal Invigorate Gaming start to burn through all the barricades, all the shields of Coastal Mayhem. Try and use that Impasse and Waters Field together to block up the enemies, and it's working out very successfully here so far and allows Atomic Boom to pick up the double kill. Graham as well, a third on the backside of this fight. Now looking towards Ash will be Atomic Boom. Easy kill for Unique Strokes. Payload moving unhindered, and Coastal Mayhem really unable to put up any kind of formulated defense here. Barricade goes down, and in a lot of trouble will be Vengeance, and they aren't receiving much backup from the rest of their team either. The Ying's illusions have gone down, but deployables are going to be quickly disrupted by Shaolin. Atomic Boom able to pump out a lot of damage purely with their planted here. Hexify used in front of the payload as well, and Heat Haze by Shaolin granting them the increased draw time, or the decreased draw time, in fact. The increased rate of fire allows them to very easily take out Ying. Payload moving through, only Objection left contesting. That's 2-0 in under 3 minutes. Very fast for Invigorate Gaming. Level 2 offensive itemization coming through. Once again, a repeat of last game, and the Kid of Action on level 2 in terms of Chronos. So getting a bit of deja vu here. Invigorate, they've copied and pasted their strategies from the last game to this one, but we'll see if Coastal Mayhem can find their way back into it this time around. Objection with their First Blood Tyra is going to augment that slightly with a life rip, but everybody else from Coastal Mayhem is just saving at this point. They are unable to get any level 2 offensive itemization online, and they don't want to split their focus. They don't want to spend maybe 300 credits into a Haven here or into a morale boost or something and delay getting Cauterize online any longer, because as you can see, the healing of this Grok on your screen right now vastly exceeds that of Ying at 35k to only 17,000. It's Atomic Boom who takes the high ground on the backside of this fight towards the waterfront, now looking through the windows, finds some damage on a Bomb King, planted goes down, easy first kill, looking for a second one, round the outside of this fight, and Nara's Impasse will block off a bit of space. Seismic Crash comes through, and now led by Tempest. Grok as well, keeping everybody alive. The Kid of Action helps the blue team disrupt their foes, and Unique Strokes picks up a double. Now trying to find the triple as Ash does run to safety. Hipfire Victor a little bit inaccurate at that range, but is going to be able to find Bomb King here, who throws in a Grumpy Bomb, panics and runs away, and Unique Strokes gets out of the stun radius in enough time. Invigorate Gaming, 84% and climbing. Coastal Mayhem unable to make their way towards the objective, completely having met their match here in game 2. Easy capture for Invigorate. And now looking to continue. Objection caught out by Shaolin. Does manage to survive with a sliver of health, but Atomic Boom cleans them up. Now Kyle on the backside of this fight is also chewed through. Double kill for Unique Strokes. The headshots start to rain as well, and with their firefight bonus damage, 30% increased on hipfire. If those headshots start to come off at close range, that's a total of plus 80% damage to the just base shots of Victor. That's a ton of kill potential coming through, and Coastal Mayhem at this point electing just to stay within their base. Payload slowly moving from Invigorate Gaming, going to be escorted here lightly by the Grok, who's just waiting for everybody to group up, and Coastal Mayhem at last do send their Bomb King out, and then straight back into base just to regenerate. No sign of this payload stopping so far. 1 minute and 40 seconds on the clock. Once again, Grapple will be the one to brave the enemies, and Atomic Boom goes savage. Grok places the totem down, and that's a 4-0 victory for Invigorate Gaming. And as you might have guessed, champions, this game is not all quite as it seems, and the scoreboard will tell enough of that. Very little kills picked up for the side of Coastal Mayhem. Invigorate Gaming, 3 of their members with 0 deaths, and it may look like they were playing bots, and that's partially because they were, to a degree. A couple of disconnects on the side of Coastal Mayhem left for a very one-sided game, and unfortunately being unable to reconnect that game in enough time led a very swift 4-0 victory for Invigorate Gaming. But the initial point fight still worked out very, very heavily in favor of the blue team here. Good performance and good play across the board from Invigorate so far throughout this set, and only stomped by Coma or really swamped out by Coma at the very last objective of Game 1, looking to put a good performance in. The team which has been beaten out twice in a row in weeks 3 and 4 of the competition, trying to mount their comeback here. And let's go to our map drafting in just a moment to find out where map number 3 of this series will be, and find out exactly where we're going to. And as you can see on your screens right now, Coma wins Serpent Beach, Invigorate take Bright Marsh. It's to Frog Isle next for the next map up in this series. So, without further ado, folks, we're not going to sit around and break that game down any further for you. We're going to throw up a quick timer, we're going to get ourselves into the very next game, and hopefully join us for a much more competitive and entertaining game number 3 on Frog Isle. Game 3, then, of this best-of-5 grand final set for the final week of North American PS4 competition on your screens, and we are off to the sunny shores of Frog Isle, I should say. My goodness, it's so hot out here that I've forgotten how to speak all of a sudden. Coastal Mayhem, now on the left-hand side of your screen, they've swapped sides with Invigorate Gaming, and we're seeing a couple of different picks brought to the realm here. Coastal Mayhem recognizing the key to success was maybe the Bomb King previously, which didn't work out for them in game number 2, but certainly did some really good work for Invigorate Gaming in game number 1 has actually been picked up by Coma here. Grapple will be running that with Accelerant, Vengeance on Aerial Assault Ruckus, Kyle on Totemic Ward Grok, Objection on First Blood Tyra, and Pluck Makoa for Monster. On the other side of things, Graham's still back on Treacherous Ground and Nara. That's going to shut down the Ruck as well. Atomic Boom on Combustible, Drogo has Unique Strokes on Firefight Victor, Sorrow on Field Study Torvald, and the Kid of Action on Resonance Ying here. Maybe a bit of extra shatter damage coming through from Invigorate Gaming. Initial Dredge Anchor play is good. Pulled straight in will be Ying, who does manage to Dimensional Link to safety. Watch out for those Fire Spits, though. Big damage coming out from Invigorate Gaming as they're going to try and throw these round the corner. Massive grouping over the Totemic Ward. Huge Fire Spit potential, but no, blocked by the Dome Shield, the Shell Shield from the Blue Turtle. Makoa is able to allow their team to pick up First Blood, and Coastal Mayhem, they're getting capture control. 36% and climbing. Downrange to Salvo. Could be followed by a Fire Spit here, but with only Ying sustain for all the members who are being poked out on the side of Invigorate Gaming, Coastal Mayhem are able to hold a lot more comfortably with Kyle's Totemic Ward underneath the Shell Shield from Makoa, especially before Heavy Racket comes online. Atomic Boom is able to find some damage around the edge. Ying gonna be maybe able to help escort that team back towards the objective. And actually, as the damage comes through from the Dragon Punch, maybe? No, not at all. But as the damage came through from Combustible, Dragon Punch was enabled. That could have really turned this fight around. Atomic Boom, of course, being sent back to base by Grapple is a boon for Coastal Mayhem, as they have now lost full capture control. But really importantly here, staying alive, of course, is Makoa on the front line of this fight. Towards the objective goes Vengeance. Firebomb by Tyra will deny objective presence around from everybody. 99% for the blue team on the objective. And Coastal Mayhem capture as Invigorate Gaming don't close the gap onto the objective in enough time here. Really just a remarkable lack of foresight from the squad in red. And even though Unique Strokes is racing forwards now, trying to chew through Vengeance and pick up a double kill, as they will, the frontline Torvald from Invigorate Gaming simply did not set foot on the objective in time when they should have been contesting that. Maybe warded away by Tyra's Firebomb, but at the same time displaying a remarkable amount of lack of situational awareness, potentially. Around the outside of this fight, Vengeance is going to look for a bit of backdoor play. Unique Stroke spots them out, though. Flux join the Ruckus' repulsor field will be activated just to keep them safe for the time being. Advancing towards the objective, up in the air, remaining mobile. But Unique Strokes' tracking has improved over the past few weeks, and they're easier to try and shut down. But still, the onslaught continues from the blue team. Objection picks up 2 on Tyra. And now setting up to trap the base is Coastal Mayhem, as Kyle is now front-lining for this team. Maybe waiting just to track some shock pulses onto a grouping of enemies, which will be very useful at displacing the Ying, especially, that Invigorate Gaming are relying on with all those deployables to be able to heal up their team. Still the payload moves. Graham, alas, going to try and contest that, but Inara's Impasse not really buying enough space. Grapple barely staying alive and continuing this fight will be Tyra, who's tracking very rapidly. Atomic Boom out of the air, finds the headshot damage to finish, and with 604 health remaining, does manage to get out of combat into the Totemic Ward, actually just staying alive here. Starts regenerating and the push continues. The Kid of Action plugged directly by a grenade. Out goes Firebomb, shutting off that path of entry. Inara tries to set up kills with Seismic Crash, but Grapple comes through. Looks maybe for some damage on a Ying in the backline. Got to be very careful here if the Hexafire does that Ying, and she does Dimensional Link to safety around the corners, but still, Torvald fallen to the Hexafire damage. Grapple setting up to trap the base again, puts a lot of pressure onto Atomic Boom around the corners on their Bomb King, gets the shutdown, Poppy Bombs to safety, and Coastal Mayhem slide the payload through. 2-0 to Coma to start this off. 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Not the fastest cap and conversion we've seen, but certainly a good look for them. And with that in mind, level 2 offensive itemization online, Grapple, already sitting on enough credits to pick up a morale boost one though, so expect King Bomb to be up and available maybe 3 times during the next objective fight, and that could mean all the difference for Coastal Mayhem here. On the other side of things, no Cauterize 2 available just yet for Invigorate Gaming. They're instead relying on Victor and Drogo's having Wrecker. And I actually really do like this from the Red Squad. They're making sure that Makoa's Shell Shield goes down as soon as they pop it up over the totem to make sure that when the Cauterize comes online, it can actually be applied to all the members who are trying to heal up within the Totemic's ward radius, which is really, really important. But to kick things off, Grumpy Bomb over the top. Fire Spits come out, blocked by the Shell Shield. Big Salvo will disrupt all of that. Barrage is incoming from Victor as well, so the damage raining down to the blue team, and Monster does take half their health and damage, but Atomic Boom is here, and in combination with Objection's Crossfire, they manage to clean up the Drogos. King Bomb to the backline, looking for a big stun, sets up on a 2. Grapple finds damage on a Torvald, being brought very low now, has to be careful, and Objection being poked out by Ying on the high ground has got to be very, very careful here that they don't lose their life. But Monster still frontlining in the Ancient Rage is very survival, trying to burst through Graham and will do successfully. 1 down, 2 down as they take out Ying as well, and Kyle's now holding the objective down for Coastal Mayhem. Still, though, worth remarking that Invigorate Gaming did hold 66% on the objective prior to Coma being able to recap here. So good work from the red team and potential for them to come back through and get the disruption. If they do manage to make it back onto the objective, but it will have to be Torvald who closes the gap, and they've got no movement ability. They're just going to try and run, find a Rooting Blast on top of Tyra, and don't manage to do so effectively. Marks up though. Shut down. No, Unique Strokes finds the damage on to Tyra, and Invigorate Gaming managed to find the capture. Number 2 of this game, answering back 2-1 now and looking to turn that into a 2-2. As Atomic Boom pushes out very far ahead as Drogos and is trying to find damage onto Bomb King. Fire Spits go out, send Objection off the map. Apparently Tyra doesn't like swimming. I think the bear skin gets a little bit wet. That's not pleasant when you have to deal with a wet fur cloak over your shoulders there. It gets a little bit heavy, and Atomic Boom now charging Dragon Punch puts Monster very quickly in their place if they can find them. Does indeed, gets the killing spree up to the air, now augmented by a protection bubble from Torvald, is going to be kept survivable, and finds a Fire Spit round the corner to dish damage out onto Kyle, and more importantly, take out their healing totem. Second Fire Spit to follow, continuing with relentless pressure onto Grok, and now Barrage in combination with the area damage as well, coming through from the Salvo, is enough to allow Unique Strokes to take out Bomb King. Fire Spit again, as trying to contest will be Vengeance, but Seismic Crash used to shut Monster down in their tracks, and Atomic Boom picks up another kill. Just left contesting will be Vengeance, will be Kyle, but Kyle gets shut down mid Tempest, and Objection, even though they're able to clean up 1 kill in the air, they're surrounded by too much damage. Just Inara on the front line in combination with Ying. Invigorate Gaming push successfully and tie things up 2-2. And as we mentioned, all tied up 2-2. Itemization coming online for Coastal Mayhem. Now sitting at tier 3, so Ying going to be very much suffering in terms of her healing output. And indeed, let's take a look at the healing charts here. And as you might expect, it is Grok who's sitting at the top of those now, with the Cauterize coming out so well for Coastal Mayhem. And they've got good application of it too, on Objection, on Monster, who's going to confirm those pluck hits onto whoever they happen to pull in, and on Vengeance as well. But Vengeance, interestingly enough, now trying to go into some Chronos and also Resilience, just recognizing the fact that Inara's Seismic Crash stun is very good setup for the red team, and Invigorate Gaming can capitalize on that quite easily, as they did in the end of that payload push to be able to shut down Makoa before Ancient Rage can come through. Towards the objective, will be leading Graham. Impasse comes up for the red team. This is how Invigorate Gaming are going to gain a lot of capture control here, just simply blocking off their enemies before they can convert towards the objective. But Vengeance jumps straight in with Hexafire, pops the Emitter Shield as well. So tanky, Survival has so much damage, and Sorrow on the backline of this fight is quickly being eaten alive as Bomb King is ripping through them. Atomic Boom as well tries to go up to safety, but actually whiffs their thrust directly up into the branch of a tree and comes straight down towards the ground again. Coastal Mayhem poised to take this capture objective, 54% and rising. Invigorate Gaming could find a way back in, but they're going to have to close the gap and get past the hit scan dismount, which is Objection, and everybody seems to be off their mount so far. Inara's going to try and close the gap. Firebomb thrown out just to zone here, but could have potentially been used in a better way towards Inara, towards the objective, but still Coastal Mayhem capture, even though Drogos is able to take out the Tyro. They don't direct their attention towards the objective in time. Invigorate Gaming may be demonstrating again a lack of situational awareness, a lack of knowing when to play the objective, and giving that one up for free when they could have contested. Objection then takes out Sorrow. It could be a repeat of last time. Multiple sticks from Grapple found straight onto the Sonara, but they've got bigger fish to fry, looking for the damage onto maybe the Ying in the backline, who is pulled in. Double kill for Grapple, and even though Atomic Boom comes in with Fire Spits and picks up a double kill of their own, this payload is rolling forwards, led by Kyle, and only now, as the Fire Spit is immune by Ghost Walk and the respawns come through for Invigorate, will anybody from the blue team back off to rejoin the rest of their team. But this is a really good defensive opportunity for Invigorate Gaming, or it was, until Grapple found the damage onto Atomic Boom. I was going to say, through the little window there on the high ground, there's perfect fire spit opportunities with the combustible legendary that this Drogas is running to find a huge amount of damage onto the attacking team. Especially if they've only got a Makoa's Shell Shield to try and defend themselves against the incoming damage. But as we remarked, straight down will go Drogos, and that's going to open up the path to conversion completely. Up into the air, Poppy Bomb out. A good opportunity potentially for this Torvald to go big as Hyper Beam comes out and throws Grapple off the map. No easy way to close their way back on there. No shell and withdraw as we saw in top 5 plays, and now with Runic Blast just making sure that Objection is silenced out. Coastal Mayhem are going to be down one of their all-important damage carries, in a lot of trouble here, and they are starting to crumble and fall. Sorrow, will it be able to recharge in just a second? Throws out the brutal. Throws out the Runic Blast just to add insult to injury, as Grok was already crippled by Inara's Totemic Warden. Monster thrown off the map by the combustible knockback. A good look for Invigorate Gaming as they do defend successfully and now set up with 30 seconds left on this push to ensure that Coastal Mayhem go no further. Zora once again recharging their shield. Going to be a little bit slow on that for the time being, just waiting for that all to come up. The cooldown's relatively long on Torvald, and without a shield to eat through, isn't going to be regenerating that very quickly. But now Ruckus places their emitter. The shell shield goes down for the Makoa, and that's just feeding into Torvald's personal bubble, keeping everybody healthy and alive. Big grenade from Unique Strokes. Got to be careful with the Tyra Firebomb, and Sorrow will fall on the front line of this fight, but the damage is good from the red team. Invigorate Gaming finding a lot of poke and pressure on the Bomb King, and Grapple force the shatter from Ying. Big work. Graham takes out a second, Atomic Boom a third, and the damage keeps on raining down from above as this Drogos goes completely unmitigated, picks up a double kill, and the Kid of Action cleans up Objection for the final kill in this trade. Coastal Mayhem all tied up with Invigorate Gaming 3-3. It all comes down to this last objective. Everybody, as we've said, is tied up for the time being. And as we remarked, 3-3. And once again, offensive itemization as we reach late game at 12:35 into this game number 3 in the best of 5 set is all tied up. It's down to the flavor picks here. Nimble for Objection's Tyra is an interesting one. Taking a look at their loadout, we'll see if they're actually min-maxing with that. And they are indeed. They don't have any increase in movement speed whilst Hunter's Mark is available. And this will work quite well with them when they're trying to run around. Maybe they can get up close and personal into the backline and then activate Crossfire for that extra bit of movement speed and keep the damage and pressure up. Coastal Mayhem had the opportunity to deny their opponents off the objective as well with a lot of ultimates, but Dragon Punch is ready and that can make the difference. Atomic Boom is going to throw out the Fire Spit up and over. No, actually meets Grapple straight ahead, but the damage, the bonus damage coming through from the Fire Spit connecting is massive here. Huge stun as well from Inara. Seismic Crash onto the Ruckus in midair, sets up the Dragon Punch confirmation. Atomic Boom finds 2, looks for a third, but Fire Spit will miss and is content to sit just away from the objective for the time being. Salvo charge and will be dismounting enemies as they come away from spawn. Grapple, heavily poked out on Bomb King, is the only player who can close the gap in enough time towards the objective as Torvald throws everybody away, and Invigorate Gaming, they capture uncontested in point number 4, and they take game number 3 of this series. And now that was a much closer game than we saw, maybe even in the Serpent Beach game, in game number 1, with the exception of the final capture objective. As you can see on your scoreboards, a great deal of consistency between both of these teams. And we've got a great deal of consistency just in terms of deaths as well. Both teams not actually dying a great deal throughout the duration of this game, and instead they're sitting relatively comfortable, you know, around between sort of 6 to 10 deaths, all within a similar field and a similar range, but at the same time, the amount of solo kills that Atomic Boom picked up there, as well as the sheer amount of damage which this Drogos player had, was definitely something that Coastal Mayhem were not prepared for. And that's a risk of Drogos on a map like Frog Isle. They have all these little areas that they can peek through, throw out a Fire Spit, bop their enemies around a little bit. It's really good as well for dealing with a composition which is running Totemic Ward Grok. Or even if it's not the Totemic Ward, right? Even though Totemic Ward provides the CC immunity and the knockback won't be there from Fire Spit, the Masterful reset on Fire Spit is going to play into this a little bit. You have a stack of 4 or 5 enemies grouped up. You hit them big with a combustible Fire Spit. They're hit by some damage over time as well. Maybe they're grouped up so they have Cauterize applied to them. And then immediately with Masterful, you reset the cooldown of your Fire Spit to throw out another 1,300 damage from your combustible Fire Spit. And that does a great deal of work to disrupt the enemy team, especially because that sheer amount of area damage is often enough to take out a totem. So really good play from Atomic Boom this game. Love the Drogo's pickup, would like to see that again in the future, but we'll have to see if it plays into the next map, which will be coming up in your screens in just a second. Otherwise, though, we can't not mention Unique Strokes in that match as Victor. 116,000 damage, definitely nothing to sneeze at. As we did remark as well, running, if I'm not mistaken, the Wrecker this game was trying to burst down Makoa's Shell Shield, and I really did like this. You're stacking a Totemic Ward Grok underneath the Shell Shield. Everybody who's going to be sitting in that bubble is going to heal up very rapidly and stay at full health, and that was Koma's strategy throughout the duration of this game. So you get rid of the Shell Shield, you make sure that the players with Cauterize can apply Cauterize like Ying was throughout that game, and then you shut them all down with the area damage coming through from Atomic Boom's Drogos. Great performance, great play from Invigorate. Looking good for game number 4 as 2 games up in this set currently. They could close out for a victory here in just 4 games. And the map where everything will go down here is actually Stone Keep. So Coastal Mayhem electing to go with another map with a lot of verticality here, like Serpent Beach. And it'll be interesting to see if they have a composition in mind which plays specifically into this. And once again, everybody, let's not delay any further. Let's get ready and straight into game number 4 of this best of 5 set for the grand finals of the North American PS4 Console Wars qualifying path to DreamHack Valencia week number 5. That really does get longer every time I say it. I think there's extra words being added in there somewhere. I'm going to have to figure this out before the actual event itself. But once again, I would like to state, everybody, that, of course, this is a really big and important match for Coastal Mayhem and Invigorate. The winner of this set will be the team that qualifies for DreamHack Valencia. As you can see, the standings are very close, only 30 points apart right now. And if Invigorate Gaming can take this game, they will be the team to qualify by just 10 points. There's a lot riding on this game. There's a huge amount of tension on both of these teams. And, well, we'll have to see if Invigorate can do it in Stone Keep or if Coastal Mayhem still have fight left in them yet. Two to 1 reads the scoreline as the bell tolls on the Stone Keep Cathedral. Do or die for Coastal Mayhem. Invigorate Gaming looking down, well, the healthy side of the barrel of the gun, as they are going to try and shut down their opponents once and for all and defeat Coastal Mayhem to win a trip to DreamHack Valencia 2017 coming up shortly in July. And with that, they're going to bring this composition to the table. Sorrow still on treacherous ground, and Nara on Stone Keep, a bit of a vulnerable pick there. The Kid of Action on Resonance Ying, Unique Strokes on Accelerant Bomb King, Graham on Pluck Makoa, and Atomic Boom on Firefight Victor. And Coastal Mayhem to make their stand here are led by Grapple on Reprieve Eevee, Kyle on Totemic Ward Grok, Monster on Architectonics Barrack, Objection on First Blood Tyra, and Vengeance on Aerial Assault Ruckus. And it's this Aerial Assault Ruckus, which is why Inara has gone ahead and picked up, once again, their Treacherous Ground Legendary. But the problem is, Firebomb and the Aerial Assault Legendary are going to keep this Ruckus mobile. The Firebomb already having chunked out Graham, and Inara now, well, actually, these players don't want to get away from you. They want to be up in your face. They don't mind about the cripple because they're just going to look to shut you down and take you out of the fight. And that's the danger of Inara on Stone Keep. She may be the Stone Warden, but she has no verticality in her kit besides a little bit of a boost from Impasse, and very easy to shut down from above if you find the correct angle. Vengeance now has to be careful here. They're in a lot of trouble as dredged into danger. They will retreat to their team, but Grok's going to keep them very nice and healthy. And that Water's Field placement from Sorrow is a bit of a desperation move, soaking the stun as well. Invigorate Gaming are in a lot of trouble here. Coastal Mayhem looking for the shutdown and do find the damage. Unique Strokes straight in the back line. Bomb King trying to push out some area damage towards this squad in red, but it's just not going to matter as they are forced to withdraw. Coastal Mayhem uncontested capture #1 of this Game 4 and are looking like they still have fight left in them. But Vengeance again pulled into danger. Could get stunned out here, able to get away with their Aerial Assault advanced charges just as safety. And now on the corner, this barricade from Barrack doing a lot of work to keep the team safe. Inara's coming from behind though, trying to get a shutdown. And indeed, Sorrow with their Earthen Guard as well as the damage reduction just built into that ability. And then the deployables is going to be able to isolate and eliminate specific members of the red team, but maybe not as Hexafire comes down from Vengeance in combination with the Crossfire from Tyra. Grapple, Objection, and Vengeance pick up all kills of their own. Ying forces Dimensional Link, but straight back into danger. Down goes the Kid of Action. Objection with kill credit going to their name, and Vengeance will continue escorting this payload, happy to soak a stun for their team to make sure that the Objection keeps moving with their very full health ball. Grapple put into danger, is able to blink out. Reprieve keeps them alive, their Ice Block healing coming through. And nobody focusing down Barrack's turrets either throughout the duration of this fight. Straight to the high ground goes Vengeance. They do find the shutdown onto Graham, even though Barrage actually does a lot of damage to the Ruckus and ends up being their demise. And onto the high ground, good turret placement from Monster will allow Coastal Mayhem just to continue pushing. Unique Strokes doesn't know what to do. They couldn't close the gap through, and capture point spawning. Coastal Mayhem, they're 2-0 already. What a difference from the previous couple of games that we've seen Coastal Mayhem in here. They're back in full force. They're back on form. And Invigorate Gaming are a little bit stumped as to how to approach this and how to deal with it. And part of that, it feels like, doesn't just come down to the gameplay. Coastal Mayhem aren't necessarily performing any better mechanically than they have been in the past couple of games, but they're performing better with their positioning. And that comes down, as I just mentioned, to the draft from Invigorate Gaming. Inara, no verticality. She gets onto the objective and she's highly vulnerable. Happy to actually not engage anywhere near her and be shut down by Water's Field. Vengeance just goes to the high ground on the Ruckus, continues to pump out damage, continues to pump out Cauterize, completely unhindered. Nobody can close the gap to them. Nobody can deal with them unless they're displaced by Dredge Anchor. But Monster certainly is on Barrack. They're trying to run here, and it'll only be Grok's Tempest that keeps them alive. But now the re-engage could come through. Onto the objective very, very early was this Makoa, and they've lost their life immediately. And now Bomb King from Invigorate Gaming is going to come through and try and turn the tables. But Grok stays alive because the CC immunity not active anymore, though. Down goes Seismic Crash, and good ultimate timing leads to potentially some comeback for Invigorate Gaming. But what's this? Grapple follows the Bomb King in, and now can blink towards the objective. Sorrow at less than half health, in a lot of trouble, staying alive through. Something? Anything? No, not staying alive at all, actually. It was the Earthen Guard momentarily, but not for long. Atomic Boom finds 2, but Objection, a double in response, and Tyra's Firebomb, again, just doing so much work with point denial on this map of Stone Keep. Always trying to contest or Invigorate Gaming. They must clear the area before they engage towards the objective because there is too much pressure to deal with from Coma once Coma start to get established and their turrets are down. Now, 72% and climbing. Invigorate Gaming have made their way back through. Dome Shield goes down from the barrack just to buy some time and space. Crossfire comes out from Tyra as well. Staying alive is Objection, as they do have a lot of lifesteal in their kit as well with First Blood Tyra. And Grapple gets a shutdown onto the kit of action from above as Eevee pulled into danger potentially. Is this, Makoa displacing Grok, but Grapple finding an execution onto Atomic Boom on the backside of this fight is helping drive their team to victory. Double kill as they blink in at just the right time and pick up Graham. Looking for a triple kill, shut down by Unique Strokes, but Objection is here to pick up the slack. And on the objective, it's only Sorrow contesting with the kit of action, and they're melting to Tyra's Firebomb. Double kill to Objection. Vengeance picks up the third with kit of action, and that's Coastal Mayhem capturing the second objective of this game. Damage dealt charts right now, unsurprisingly led by Tyra. We've got two relatively immobile frontliners with no verticality in their kits in the form of Makoa and Inara, who are constantly sitting on the objective from Invigorate Gaming and falling very fast to Tyra's Firebomb. Again, Sora has to get up close and personal with their Waters Field to make Treacherous Ground really pay off, and it's just not working out as they have to walk straight across this Firebomb, trapped in the corner, shut down by Objection. Third in a row killing spree, and that Seismic Crash finds no efficacy during this fight. Only the kit of action able to pick up a kill, and they're very rapidly going to have to retreat, as even their shatter damage is blocked out entirely by Barrack's Barricade. It's up to on the high ground, Unique Strokes on Bomb King to try and make a shutdown, but Grapple says no, says goodbye, and that we're coming for your blood, Invigorate Gaming, and they're looking to blink into the backline. Finds Sorrow as well. Great shot, great presence of mind from Grapple to blink through. Invigorate Gaming must defend here. Makoa does not have Ancient Rage available. Ice Storm used to lock off. The payload rolls through. Nobody can get near it. Coastal Mayhem come back, find a 4-0, and pull themselves back into this set. We're going to Game 5. And again, just what a phenomenal difference this game. Coastal Mayhem outperforming themselves as they have done in the last few weeks to go the distance necessary versus Invigorate Gaming, who have consistently put up one of the toughest fights we've seen in the console Paladins scene so far. And this time they really did just appear to have Invigorate Gaming stumped. And once again, I keep on harping on about it, but it just seems that this was not a Stone Keep composition which Invigorate Gaming drafted. Where they found cohesion, they had some really good kill potential. When Graham found the Makoa Dredge Anchors, they often found kills, except on Vengeance, who was able to escape very rapidly. And there wasn't the cohesion that we might have needed to see between these two frontliners. You have the opportunity as Invigorate Gaming to use your Dredge Anchor displacement, pull a member in, even if it is the Ruckus, plonk down a Waters Field with the Treacherous Ground Legendary equipped, and cripple your enemies to make sure that they cannot use movement abilities to quickly displace themselves and run back to the safety of their team. And as you can see on the healing charts, when that was able to be done, Kyle would keep everybody alive, the CC immunity would be provided, and Unique Strokes loses 2 abilities stuns out of their kits as they weren't able to find kills off of King Bomb or Grumpy Bomb very often due to that CC immunity. As a result, good drafting, good cohesive play from Coastal Mayhem, less so from Invigorate, but they still have one last opportunity. And with that opportunity, actually, it will be Invigorate who have the map pick choice for game number 5. And I can't believe I'm saying this, folks, but it does all come down to the wire here. Excuse me. As we go back to the bracket screen. There we go. Okay, so far you can see that the bracket screen has been updated. We will have our maps up in just a second. And now back on screen. Right there, Fish Market will be the final destination for Coma and Invigorate. Drafted by Invigorate, they obviously have a trick up their sleeve. It's a map in which we've seen Willow come out on previously, and I wonder if that'll come out again. That's been a bit of a flavor pick for the North American Xbox side of things recently. The aerial assault from this champion is devastating when there are no specific hit scan counters on the enemy team. And whilst we know that Atomic Boom, for example, loves running Victor for Invigorate, and Objection certainly is somebody to be reckoned with if that Victor goes to them, Victor, so often running Firefight, is unable to deal with Willow when they're in the air quite so well. In fact, in yesterday's games on the Xbox side of things, it was, in fact, necessary for Tyra to come out and crossfire a Willow in the air just to force them out of the fight, to stop them from raining down Hellfire upon their team. And, of course, well, we'll have to see if a pick like that comes out. It's also a map where we've seen picks like Acrobatics Pit favored, which, notably North America, really not a fan of. That's definitely a European flavor pick, but it might be what's necessary to make the difference here. But with North America, especially the PS4 side of things, loving their Bomb King, loving their Eevee so far. I'm certainly expecting to see these mobile monsters come back out once again. And as far as the rest of the picks go, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Join us then for game number 5. It all comes down to this, champions, the winner of which will qualify for DreamHack Valencia. Coma versus Invigorate, we're all tied up. We'll see you in game.
Inside my head, where have you been hiding while I made out the plans? Try so hard to take my eyes off you. I'm about to lose my common sense. The moment when you showed up, then I knew, oh my, here we go again. Are you coming back to my life after all we said and done? Are you coming back to my life? I thought that you were gone. Good reason, my mind says to my heart, still I want to keep her. Oh, why is this so hard? Try so hard to take my eyes off you. I'm about to lose my common sense. The moment when you showed up, then I knew, oh my, here we go again. Are you coming back to my life after all we said and done? Are you coming back to my life? I thought that you were gone. Try so hard to take my eyes off you.
Champions of the realm, this is it. Invigorate Gaming versus Coastal Mayhem in Week 5 of the North American PS4 qualifying open bracket tournaments for the Paladins Console Wars at DreamHack Valencia. And as we said, Game 5, all tied up 2-2. Fish Market is the destination where both teams will make their stands and attempt to push the other one over the edge to qualify for LAN. Invigorate Gaming will be fighting out of the blue corner, led by Sorrow on Aegis Fernando, the Kid of Action on Totemic Ward, Grok, Unique Strokes on First Blood Tyra, Graham on Flux Generator Ruckus and Atomic Boom on Desert Shadow Charlene here. Grapple for Coastal Mayhem will be playing Reprieve Eevee once again, Kyle the Bunny on Focusing Lens Ying, Monster on Treacherous Ground, and Nara Vengeance on an Architectonics Barrack, an Objection on Gunnery Victor here, so a little bit more long-distance pressure available to them. I really like Atomic Boom's pickup here, specifically of the Desert Shadow. We know that Eevee might be looking for a pick onto the Charlene if they can blink up behind them, so a longer stealth duration of withdrawal, super important in making this Eevee have a very hard time at trying to lock down the Charlene. They do blink up towards the high ground. Grapple finds first blood onto the immobile Unique Strokes Tyra, but gets impaled into a wall by Atomic Boom. Phenomenal play from the Charlene there, just have the reactions to be able to nail that shot, and now from behind, sets up a planted behind Fernando's shield, but Inara's Impasse blocks all of the damage coming through, and on the objective, it's all Coastal Mayhem so far. Just trying to take out the totem is Vengeance for the time being, and they do so successfully. Turrets keep on going down exactly where they need to. Maybe a little bit exposed there, Vengeance. Slightly too far forwards, but still. Tyra's Firebomb has expired, and Coastal Mayhem are at 99% on the objective. Again, Inara just body blocks the Fernando. Invigorate Gaming down a point already. Coastal Mayhem are sitting 1-0 in under 2 minutes. Not a very heavily contested objective, but with this much damage reduction online early and so much healing from an early game Ying as well, it's kind of as you might expect. And indeed, taking a look at the healing chart, it is 10,000, now 11k from Kyle, only rising as these teams continue to brawl out. Up in the high ground as well, Objection currently leading the damage chart, sitting at 16,000 just 2 minutes and 20 seconds in. Great play from the Victor so far, but whiffs the grenade and must retreat, and not actually getting as much damage off as we have seen previously from the Victor, as they are running Gunnery, of course, rather than Firefight, but regenerating out of combat, will be able to run back towards the objective. Now dropping damage towards Sorrow, forces the shield up for Fernando, and that'll buy time. And As soon as that shield goes up for Fernando, this is one of the really important elements of Fernando's kit. When that shield's up, you're not dealing damage. Sorrow now puts it down, is able to start dropping damage onto the squad again, but safe is Inara behind their earthen guard. Grenades go up and over the top. Fernando already down. Grok, the kit of action, is going to activate their Tempest here just to try and keep players alive. And Barrage finds kills around the corner as Objection takes down Grok. Atomic Boom in the distance as Charlene, trying to equalize and even the playing field, finds a bit of poke onto Objection, but most importantly, Ying is still alive for Coastal Mayhem. Up and down, Blink's grapple, takes out Graham and gets the execution and soars to safety here. Reprieve will keep them alive if necessary. They blink in towards the Fernando, find one bonus damage shot, two bonus damage shots, grapple takes out Sorrow, and his payload could be looking for conversion here, potentially, if nobody finds an answer to the Eevee, but she's forced into Reprieve. Reprieve blinks towards Tyra and soars up and over and away, but gets actually sniped out of the air by Atomic Boom. Double kill for Charlene, at last finding some sort of answer to the mobile monster on Coastal Mayhem, who's actually sitting on their second Ice Storm of the game here as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that could be used to really try and set up some fights when the payload push reconvenes. 22 seconds left on the clock. Invigorate Gaming holding strong, forcing out the front line, trying to make a backdoor play as Vengeance, but then revealed by Tyra's Hunter's Mark, and are now very caught out, trying to retreat back towards Ying, lose most of their health, and somebody from Coma's got to close the gap towards this payload. Invigorate Gaming holding very, very strong, but overextension from Sorrow opens this one completely up. And in fact, Atomic Boom can't find any damage where they need to right now as they're being blocked out. Unique Stroke so low on Tyra as well. Does get chewed through by Monster. The Stone Spear doing so much damage, but Atomic Boom quickly takes out Grapple. The damage keeps on coming through from Charlene's Longbow, and that'll be enough to buy time for Invigorate Gaming. Coastal Mayhem can't find the push, all tied up 1-1. And really good performance, really good play from Atomic Boom throughout that last round. Only 25,000 damage so far, comparatively to the highest damaging member of this squad of Coastal Mayhem at 47,000. You're going to think that's not a great deal, but or at least not that much. But if you take into account the fact that it's 47,000 for Coastal Mayhem as their top damager, and then the next is Eevee at under 20k, Invigorate Gaming overall have 3 more core damage dealers on their squad, and this is going to perform more consistently overall unless Coastal Mayhem can start to pick up a bit of their deficit. And that'll definitely lead them towards victory if Coma aren't careful. And once again, level 2 offensive itemization for Invigorate Gaming starting to come online. Kyle as Ying has no control over where their healing is applied. It goes to the lowest percentage health members of their squad from their illusions. So unless the members of this Coastal Mayhem team rotate out very carefully, that's just going to be so much anti-heal applied that Coma aren't going to have much healing at all in the objective, whereas comparatively the shield goes up from Fernando, blocks off Cauterize, and it's a very good look for the squad in blue. And Invigorate actually on the objective already elapsed 48%, 50% on the objective, but oh my goodness, Ice Storm straight into a barrage, sets up kill potential, straight to the objective goes Vengeance, and now it's a double kill for Objection, but they're stunned out. Can the third shot connect? It will not, but Unique Strokes comes back in, and Atomic Boom is contesting, looking for the damage, and actually Unique Strokes does save Charlene. Comes back in as Tyra gets the shutdown onto Barrack, who was about to take out Charlene, and Invigorate Gaming managed to hold 96% and rising. Inara impaled into a wall, immediately chunked out. Oh my goodness, that was a very fast kill onto Inara there. So much headshot damage raining through from Ruckus, and Invigorate capture payload number 2 of this game. Out goes the Firebomb up and over, just lobbed behind Barrack's barricade to cut off their path of retreat here. Really good positioning from the Tyra so far. Great totem usage from Invigorate Gaming as the kit of action tries to keep everybody alive, and Coastal Mayhem aren't overextending on this defense, which I do like. Invigorate are getting a lot of free push-offs so far, led by Sorrow on the front line, just making sure that they provide a bit of buffer for their team with their big Aegis Fernando shield. And especially responding to threats as Eevee does charge towards the backline again. But until this corner specifically, Coastal Mayhem have chosen not to engage, and this has allowed Invigorate Gaming to get a lot of ground, but Coastal Mayhem haven't lost members and haven't wiped in the process, and now they're trying to wipe their opponents off the face of the map. Objection running for their life here is being chased around by Fernando, but Kyle and Grapple are picking up kills. The shield goes up, the damage comes through. Does anybody have the wrecker necessary? I don't think it's going to matter as Sorrow takes a trip straight towards the pool and doesn't even make it into the lagoon here. Is actually killed by Objection, but obviously trying to give up their life just to make sure that the respawns for Invigorate Gaming aren't staggered. So demonstrating good core game knowledge here and electing to group up our Invigorate Gaming before they try and make their way back in. It'll be a flank onto the left-hand side, but it's spotted out by Injection. Grenade goes out just to try and find somebody, and Sorrow, very far forwards, will take out this barrack. Nope, leaving it alive. Okay. Not wanting to actually close out the kill onto the barrack turret there, leaving that to dismount members coming through from the outside. Bit of a split focus, bit of a split flank from Invigorate Gaming here so far, and not finding much purchase. Unique Strokes might be the one to change that, as they have a good position to throw out a firebomb, which is currently off cooldown, but on the high ground, sustained by a Grok Totem. Now they have good positioning. Out it goes. So much damage. Look at that sharp rise for Tyra right now. Still led by Victor, of course, but at the same time, allowing to buy Invigorate Gaming a lot of time is Unique Strokes. Crossfire is available, but it's not going to be necessary here. Coastal Mayhem lose 4 of their members all in one go, and Eevee's forced back to spawn. Invigorate Gaming just straight up pushed through. The Firebomb doing such a good job at reducing the front line's health for Coastal Mayhem so significantly that the rest of Invigorate can just roll through as and when they like. Again, Firebomb goes down. Vengeance can't contest in the middle of that, but pops down Dome Shield to try and stay alive. Barrage used on top of the Kit of Action does take out the Tempest, which was just elapsed. Hexafire from Ruckus from the side, but great wall, great impasse by Nara. Actually cuts off line of sight from Sorrow, even as they try and charge past with their charge ability, and actually, in overtime, bought enough of a break of line of sight for that defense to be successful. Really good play from Monster there from Coastal Mayhem. Very impressive and great positioning of the impasse specifically behind the payload to ensure that if the payload rolled any further forwards, that impasse would not be broken by default. Itemization now tied up at least a little bit between these two squads. Coastal Mayhem leading slightly in the cauterized department. The Kit of Action having up Kronos 3, but as does Kyle now on Ying. So both the supports maximizing their healing output to the fullest degree. It'll really come down to some of the flavor picks in terms of itemization to try and turn the tide. And again, Sorrow might be the one to do just that. They are playing Fernando, and whilst they've got Aegis, they could easily jump to the back line of this fight if they chose to. And nope, straight to the objective is where Sorrow will go for the time being. Shield buys a little bit of time for Grok to group up behind it and get this Flux Generator Ruckus onto the objective with all their damage reduction. Charging down Kyle will be Sorrow, but Grapple setting up the Ice Storm in the back line of this fight. Atomic Boom about to go down, and the Ice Storm damage does indeed, now grouped up all around this totemic ward, will be the blue team as they try and hold things down through Immortal. Seismic Crash ineffective to the CC immunity. Unique Strokes picks up a triple kill on Tyra here and is able to go big for their squad, and that'll be enough for the time being to hold things down. And as we do get back up to a full speed, I think, in our game, excuse me there, we can see that Unique Strokes has done so much work dismounting for their team and is continuing to do so, pushing out the front line of this objective fight. Graham could blink in. Oh, excuse me, Grapple could blink in, but dissuaded by the damage coming from Graham, who's drawing fire to the other side of the objective. No sign of Eevee closing the gap. Capture for Invigorate. Good work so far from this squad of Invigorate as they're continuing to lead this game. 3-2 at 10 minutes and 33 seconds in. Vengeance has been marked. Tries to get to the payload, but loses so much health in the process. Unique Strokes goes down, but still the core of Invigorate Gaming is still staying alive. The Grok, the Fernando, the Ruckus, but the Kit of Action in a lot of trouble, has been shut down at last by Grapple, and as Monster closes out a kill on a Sorrow, a much more aggressive defense from Coastal Mayhem this time around, and I kind of like this. There's not quite as much distance damage on the squad of Invigorate Gaming as we might expect. They've got a Charlene who can maybe get some chip poke up, but all those shots can very easily be blocked by Inara's impasse. And as we saw, the payload made its way very close to conversion previously when Coastal Mayhem tried to hold a little bit further back on this fight on the payload push. And now holding slightly further forwards may pay out to be a boon for them, but they've got to be careful. Leading the charge once again is Sorrow on Fernando. The shield is up, allowing Ruckus just to dish out damage consistently behind them. Down goes the Totem, out comes the Flux Generator, Repulsor Field, and that's a lot of healing coming through onto Graham as soon as they duck out of the damage which is being applying cauterized to them for the time being. Straight towards the fight they go. Monster taken out by Unique Strokes, who tries to find the double. Now surging forwards and surging with power is Grok, the Kit of Action, applying that speed increase to everybody with Tempest as well. Allows everybody from Invigorate Gaming just to run through their opposition, and Sorrow pushes out so far forwards, just buying so much buffer and space for their team. Really good play from Fernando so far. Loving to see them used at a high level in console play so far, when we've seen so little of them on PC in recent weeks. And now Sorrow has the opportunity to jump in, as we just said, into the backline disrupt throughout the Aegis shield, and even though they're being locked down by the cripple from Inara, they're able to back up just enough to actually withhold all of the barrage damage from Victor from their team, as that does emanate outwards from the center. And as a result, Immortal being popped as well. Sorrow saves their team from the seismic crash from Inara. This is just phenomenal reactive Fernando play, allowing everybody to stay alive, allowing Atomic Boom to be consistent with their shots, find the triple kill. No, double as Graham steals that one away. And it's just Grapple left contesting. 5 seconds left until overtime. Grapple's got to keep it up in Soar. The respawns are coming through. Can Eevee withhold? Blink keeps them nimble. Inara is back here. The Impasse tries to block line of sight, but it just can't. Coastal Mayhem are holding on with respawn proximity, but Vengeance is back at last. Dome Shield goes down the objective, but Objection is down. Gotta be careful here. Ruck is getting very low, but so is Vengeance. The Cauterized 3 doing big work here. Barrack will fall. Eevee back again contesting with Ying, but everybody falls. Invigorate Gaming gain victory and qualify for the console wars at DreamHack Valencia. What a mad conga as well that was, right at the end of the game there. My goodness. It looked like with the Dome Shield, potentially, that Vengeance might have just saved their team's life, might have just saved their team's hopes and opportunities to qualify for DreamHack Valencia with Coastal Mayhem. But fantastic reactions from this squad of Invigorate. And we'll come to Sorrow in just a second. Fantastic reactions from Graham specifically, as well as Unique Strokes on Tyra and Atomic Boom, just to, instead of keeping their presence around the objective, they recognize that Sorrow can hold down the front line. They can throw up their shield and manage to withstand that flamethrower turret presence and keep the payload in overtime. Graham and Atomic Boom rotate around the outside of the objective, make sure that they take out Objection, who at 124,000 damage on Victor, even on a loss, was certainly a champion and a character who needed shutting down. My goodness, Objection, please stop. Take your finger off the trigger for just 1 second, please. And eliminating the primary source of damage meant that all that healing from Grok then could come through. Cauterize wasn't being applied to the squad of Invigorate Gaming. Coastal Mayhem had lost their powerhouse, and even though their core was still established, they were relying on Objection to dish out that damage, to get the kills. That's what the composition was built around. When we've seen this in, we first saw this in Week 3. On the map of Frog Isle, Coastal Mayhem have Objection do the majority of the damage, and then Grapple comes in for the finishing shots and execution on Eevee and Victor combined. And it works out very effectively until one of those members is lacking. And if that's Objection, then Eevee has no setup and does end up falling. Overall, phenomenal play from Invigorate, but my MVP for that last game especially, and one of the core reasons that this squad of Invigorate deserves their positioning and qualifies for DreamHack Valencia. Sorrow's Fernando. My goodness. 38,000 damage. Not very much at all. Does exceed the kit of actions there. 181,000 shielding. But their aggressive play brought enough of a buffer and space for their team to be able to move up the payload without being hindered, was sort of able to get into the backline of their opponents, disrupt, and then we saw a couple of really crucial, really key, and just flat-out amazing plays, and I'm going to continue gushing over towards the end of that fight. And that was first and foremost jumping into the backline, throwing up the shield when Barrage was coming down from Objection on Victor. And as many of you may be familiar with, and as some of you may not be familiar with, Barrage's damage emanates from the center of that targeter on the ground. Able to back up very slowly, even though slowed by the water's field from Inara, Sorrow was able to position their shield between that Barrage epicenter and the rest of their squad, protecting them from all of that area damage, which would have otherwise broken up the team fight. Seismic Crash comes through from Inara to try and stun everybody down, but Sorrow activates Immortal in just the nick of time to make sure that even though the crowd control is applied, everybody survives. Just an absolutely phenomenal performance, and with that in mind, folks, once again, definitely a well-deserved victory from this squad of Invigorate Gaming, and I cannot wait to see how they perform at DreamHack Valencia. It is going to be a phenomenal performance, and the whole of the Console Wars event is going to be great, and we'll have some details for you coming up in just a second, as I am getting my overlays updated behind the scenes for you all. And as you can see on your screen in just 1 second, we have the final set of scores for you available, and that is right here, right now. A 4-2 victory on Fish Market does lead Invigorate to win the entire series, and as we've mentioned, it was a very close set in the standings between these two teams of Coastal Mayhem and Invigorate Gaming. Coastal Mayhem only ahead by 30 points at the end of week 4, now lose out by just 10 in the standings, Invigorate taking the very narrowest of edges above them and qualifying for Valencia. And with that in mind, we now have all of our 4 qualified teams for DreamHack Valencia for the Paladins Console Wars, and let's go through those right now. For the PS4 side of things, or at least from the European side of things, for PlayStation 4, your qualifying team is Team Cryptic, undefeated in 5 weeks of gameplay, 5 first place spots throughout the duration of the Console Wars qualifiers. They've certainly earned their spot at this international LAN event. On the other side of things in Europe, similarly as well for the Xbox squad, Gankstars, again, undefeated in 5 weeks and phenomenal in their performance, running some wildcard picks which we just don't see that frequently in console, of maybe the Dodge Roll Cassie, the Exaction Cassie, or maybe even a Bounce House Buck coming out of play, or even a Maldamba. This is a squad that is not afraid to go toe-to-toe with the best and is definitely looking for ways to innovate to really pull themselves to the forefront of the scene. As far as the North American side of things go, you've just seen them qualify. Invigorate Gaming are the PS4 squad to represent their region and their console at the Paladins Console Wars at DreamHack Valencia. And whilst they've had a hard-fought battle with Coastal Mayhem, and they've gone toe-to-toe in the standings, and haven't gone undefeated, it's certainly not a standing scoreline to be underestimated in any way. Coastal Mayhem is a team which is made up of many members from PC Paladins who've transitioned to console, who actually came from console in the first place, having maybe some FPS experience on games such as Halo 2 back in the day, and have a lot of experience with controller competitive gameplay, and brought all their Paladins knowledge from the PC scene through, but still, Invigorate Gaming powered on through that, took the victory, and have earned a very well-deserved spot in the Console Wars for the PS4 North American slot. And then, of course, Xbox for North America, well, we're going to keep it strictly business, because it is strictly business. Again, undefeated in 5 weeks of gameplay, taken to the edge many a time by Set to Destroy X, who were similarly taken to the edge many a time by Vex Gaming. We're seeing a really close contention between the top 3 to top 4 teams in North American Xbox gameplay. And I can only say that it's such a shame that we're just bringing 4 teams to DreamHack Valencia, because I sincerely hope on my heart that the next console event we have after this is going to bring even more, because I would love to see how especially these sort of second tier, third tier teams right now in all the regions break down against each other, because I think that there are many who are in hot contention for very, very high level spots here. But that does wrap up the last of our Console Wars broadcasts before DreamHack Valencia. There will be no more competitive console gameplay broadcasts until that event specifically, but I want to say a big thank you from myself, Hi-Rez Vox, to the Paladins World guys of Onilight and Phasian. You might know them as Dave and Kenneth. They've been running this Console Wars Qualifiers series behind the scenes. They've been pumping out all these awesome graphics on screen for us. They've been producing all the fantastic content and adminning your tournaments for you, so we can bring you these broadcasts and bring you the incredible games that we've been able to see. I want to throw a big shout out as well to Alan I Hold Shift on a Frio, over the last couple of weeks, unfortunately not today, has been my co-commentator for the Console Wars Qualifiers and has brought a lot of additional knowledge and analysis to the scene as well, and we're shaping up to have a really nice idea of exactly what we might be expecting at DreamHack Valencia, and we're certainly going to do our best to put on the best performance possible for you and the most entertainment possible for you whilst that all goes down there as well. And of course, a massive shout out to all the players. The response that we've had so far from the console scene from both Xbox and PlayStation 4 in Europe and North America has been phenomenal, with turnouts in the early weeks of the Console Wars qualifiers far exceeding our wildest expectations. And I can only say that we will do our absolute best to continue to provide an environment in which you can add your fuel to the competitive fire that has been lit within these scenes, and we are so grateful for your continued support. That wraps things up for myself, of course, Hi-Rez Vox on the mic here tonight. Very late for Europe, but hopefully not too late for all of you in North America, as it is currently 1:30 AM CEST. This does, as we've said, conclude competitive broadcasts, not just for console, but for PC, until DreamHack Valencia on the official channels on the weekend. However, if you're still interested in keeping up with the action, and maybe you'd like to see some OB53 competitive play come through, then make sure you check out the ESL Paladins Europe Go For Cup on Thursday. If you want to sign up for that, if you're a PC player from the European region, you can find out details on played.eslgaming.com/Paladins or esl.pm/Paladins ESL. And that's a tournament that we have. It's an open bracket tournament, which is actually in its finals week this week. So it's an open bracket format. We'll have qualifier cups throughout every month, and on the last Thursday of every month, we'll have a grand finals of the month, the monthly finals, where the top 8 teams by the point standings accumulated through the last month are invited to compete for a €500 cash prize pool, and we're very happy to be bringing you the finals of that broadcast, if I'm not mistaken, in English, Polish, French, and now Spanish as well. So make sure you check out the ESL page to find out where you can watch all of your localized broadcasts, in the Discord as well, just to check up on those if you do want to watch in your native language. And of course, for those of you in North America, we also have the ESL Paladins Rise of the Champions Cup for North America, which will be going on Thursday. So whilst this is just an invitational finals for the ESL Go For Cup for the last Friday of June, the ESL Rise of the Champions Cup for North America is still open and is still available for anybody to jump in and sign up for PC players in the North American region. And once again, very much hope to have something similar for console players soon. The response to competitive console play has been absolutely phenomenal. I've been floored by it. Everybody's been thrilled by it on our end at Hi-Res Studios, and we cannot wait to continue supporting your endeavors to bring us the best of gameplay that you possibly can. Once again, my name's been Vox, and I will catch you on the flip. Enjoy some music in the outro, and we'll have more Paladins action coming from one of our streamers up for you on Twitch in just a few minutes.
chasing the easy life. We're chasing the easy life. We're chasing the easy life. We're chasing the sun tonight. We're chasing the easy life. Easy life. We're chasing the 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 sun tonight. We're chasing the easy life. Easy life.